2022. This was a pretty alright year, actually. I mean, nothing really stood out too much compared to 2021, but there were a lot of fun moments that had, and it remained consistent throughout the year. One thing was definitely the new G5 stuff that came out, because we had the movie last year. Now this year we had 2 series as well as like a bunch of different things. So like Tell Your Tale was the 2D series on YouTube, and Make Your Mark was the 3D series thing on Netflix. And we're gonna be honest, it's kind of funny at the beginning where people were really hyped for Make Your Mark, and then Tell Your Tale was like, well, we'll see how it goes. And by the end of the year, I think I've heard more people like Tell Your Tale more than Make Your Mark. Both I'm fine with, but I'm kind of on the side of Tell Your Tale just because I like it a little more, personal taste. But yeah, because like there was just like a new episode, a 5-minute thing every week, and the style really grew on me. And then for Make Your Mark, they did improve over time. So we got like chapter 1 back at the springtime, I think. And that animation, it was pretty shaky, and it was like a little less than an hour or something. So we were like, okay, so each chapter is going to be like this. But then chapter 2 came along, and that was more of a series of like 8 episodes. On the bright side, it introduced us to Misty, which the fandom automatically like went with and really liked. And then the Winter Wish Day thing came out in the holiday season, and that was called chapter 3. Out of the 3, I did like chapter 2 the best. I mean, it was the longest runtime. There was a lot more to go off of, and it was really episodic. If I had to choose a favorite episode, it'd probably be episode 4, with the Sunny Alicorn thing. But that was mostly in the realm of like the show, or G5 this year. Then one of the main things for me in the fandom was going to conventions this year. I mentioned at the end of last year that I was planning on going to a lot this year, and I did. First it was if you counted the Ponyville FM anniversary with Ponyfest, they had a online concert that I played at. It was pretty fun. I kind of just threw that set together with a bunch of just random songs, but it ended up being really fun. Like one of my favorite sets I had at the time. But then we get to the IRL conventions, such as Harmonycon, where they were in a new hotel this year that I really liked because it felt social. Like the lobby area with the big high ceiling and all the chairs everywhere and the big atmosphere. It felt very like a good place to have social conversation and goof off. And I mean, the concert was like really well done. And then I wasn't planning on it, but then I went to Seaquestria Fest because I was like, it might be a little expensive. I don't know if I'm going to go. But then I ended up being able to play as a musician there. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm going. So I went with friends. And for first year con, it was very relaxed, actually. It was kind of just like a chill weekend with some events, some music, and I really enjoyed my time there, and I hope it continues to live on because it's basically just like a small con getting off the ground, and I think it can grow more. Then it was Whinny City in June. I mean, in my personal opinion, was my favorite con this year because the vibe was just like it was a very just fun vibe over the weekend. I wouldn't say exciting or it wasn't boring. It was just the right amount of just fun and good vibes, if that makes sense. It was a really fun just time. Audience was fun. Apparently AC Race Best also recorded part of it or was vlogging part of it, and I didn't even see them in the audience until like a friend told me afterwards, and I was like, wait what? So that was very cool. Also with Whinny being the summer, it was a very nice weather, very sunny, very warm. It really added to the weekend. I think the weather usually adds to a con experience. Then in July is TrotCon. I went with some friends, we partied, we had an alright time there. Definitely a lot of people went to this one. It was hyped for a while, especially before and during the pandemic. So then at the event, there was over 1,000 people, I think, and the lobby was just crowded, the lines were long. It was just insane. That was also the first time I tried out my Herdle panel, which was based off of the web game Herdle that blew up this year with Wordle. And it had really good reception. I'm glad people liked it, and I hope to do it more in the future. So then I wasn't planning on going to Everfree Northwest, but I ended up going just like I felt. I was like, oh man, I have the urge to go, and now's a better time more than ever, so I'll go. Especially for their 10th anniversary. So I went, stayed at a friend's house who's local, and I was pretty impressed, especially the concert. The big screen in the back really added to all of the sets, and the audience there was the best I've seen since BronyCon 2019, just by the sheer amount of people, as well as like the consistency between sets. Sometimes during cons, like, you know, the audience between sets varies, but this one kind of remained consistent. Like, there were a lot of people on the floor and in the seats during each set, and they were very like into it. It was a really fun time. Also, for Everfree Northwest, I submitted to their annual PMV contest, but was able to go this year to see it. And with my It's a Beautiful Day PMV, it won Best in Show, so I'm really glad they liked it, and I'm really thankful for winning that. Also, with it making the top 10 pony videos of August 2022, that's awesome as well. Also, being part of the Brony 2021 video was cool, with the Euphoria PMV. Then later, I went to Ciderfest. I went last year and I went this year. I really enjoyed my time there. Again, it remained consistently fun. Did the Herdle panel there again. I love the audience reaction every time when doing it. And just like to be able to hang out with a lot of friends there, it's an amazing feeling and experience. So then finally in the year, I performed at Ponyfest 6 in December, where I did this, like, I tried this new thing with a set with a screen in the back, like I usually do visuals for my sets, so this time, like, why not try it for an online con? And I'm really happy with how it turned out. It might be my favorite online set yet, and I'm glad people really liked it. And with all these cons, I usually upload vlogs for them, and so I made it a goal, at least for the first 10 months, that I uploaded a con vlog every month throughout this year. I did stop at the end of November and December to focus on my finals for college. Speaking of which, I'm a graduate now, so 2023 is going to be an interesting year, seeing what the future holds for me. Also, another highlight of this year was making it on A State of Sugar for the first time with Ponytails and Pushin' Buttons. So I really want to thank all the collaborators for those two songs. They're some of the proudest songs I've worked on yet. So for 2023, like I said, mostly it's gonna see what the future holds. I went to a lot of cons this year because now that I'm out of college and stuff, seeing what the future holds in terms of financial stuff, you know, all that jazz. So I'm planning on probably not going to like 6 cons like I did this year. I do want to release more music. I have some plans for this next year, and I'm very excited to share it all with you. Also next year, I really hope to play more cons because it's a really fun experience to do. Yeah, I just am excited every time and get to share different sets creatively with people and just, like, to see what I come up with and to see them, like, their reactions to the spectacles. But other than that, thank you for an amazing 2022, and I'll see you all next year.